Ryan Garcia was seen in a heated debate with Bill Haney regarding Garcia's doping scandal after his victory over Devin, which resulted in a 1-year suspension and a hefty fine.
When did you take the supplement?
I told you that day.
And you took the supplement during the fight?
How can I take a supplement during the fight?
I'm saying the day of the fight, because you tested positive both days.
Exactly. Don't you think it would still be in your system? Think with your brain. It would still be in your system no matter what. It's not going to be the next day.
During the argument, Garcia didn't hold back, addressing Bill Haney's question head-on. The tension between the two was notable as they discussed the doping incident. Garcia maintained his innocence, stating, "I told you that day because you tested positive both days." Exactly. You don't think it would still be in your system? Bill Haney asked for a few details about the supplements. Garcia revealed that he wasn't aware of them, so the latter wondered whether King Rai had any knowledge about the sort of supplements the person who the young boxer called Scooter gave. Garcia added, "They are the ones the lawyers have, the ones he provided me with. We sent that to a lab. They tested it, and it was tested with Osterine in its tablets, so my thing was tainted, which there's no doubt in mine." But Bill Haney persisted. He wanted to know which company's supplements he received. However, there was no change in Garcia's answer.
What? Okay, so let me just tell you which ones. So we'll know so the world will know not to use the supplements. Which supplements were they?
Like I said, I don't know what supplement. Those are his supplements.
Wait, no, hold on,
Scooter, do you know?
Wait.
Bill Haney then checked whether the supplements that Ryan received caused weight loss. Ryan Garcia replied in the negative. Bill asked, "So why did you say that everyone, had contaminated that Victor Conti, that Bill, that me, that everybody?" Ryan replied to this by saying, "I'm very skeptical. I'm still to this day. I'm skeptical a man that got Che, that was banned from another sport, is helping you out. Devin Haney is in your son has gained. He can lose so much weight, but then gained so much weight and then still fight for 12 rounds. In response, Garcia questioned why the authorities hadn't turned his son's records null and void. After all, he went beyond the prescribed weight limits. Bill Haney argued back that there are no such stipulations, but King Rai insisted that Devin Haney had been a weight bully since their amateur days.
Why isn't Devin Haney's record non and void? Because he went over the legal weight limit that you can gain.
There's no fucking such thing as going over
that's what they're saying.
The legal weight limit. Because listen, if
Devin Haney has been a weight bully his whole career.
All right.
Even in the amateurs, he was a weight bully.
The debate also touched on broader issues of fairness in doping enforcement. Garcia compared his suspension to those of other fighters, noting discrepancies in punishment.
Hey, Oscar Valdez got popped, and guess what? He got 0 suspension. Shane Mosley got popped, 0 suspension. Canelo gets popped 6 months. I get popped a year.
You know why?
It's just different rules.
The commission.
I had a billions gram.
The commission looked up.
You know how much a billions gram is, Bill? You could take a little salt, put it in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and that's what I had in my system.
On the other hand, Devin Haney is firm about taking revenge on Garcia, as Devin seems upset for his loss because it was the first time in his career Devin had to suffer 3 knockouts in the ring. Outside the ring, he has already threatened to take legal action against Garcia. As well as that, he plans to cause damage to the 25-year-old boxer inside the ring as well, as he explained in an interview with Ariel Helwani for the MMA Hour. He stated, "He going to pay in the ring and out the ring, and that I mean in many different ways. The shit that he did, I want to make him pay for the shit that he did. When you signed the contract, he said he was going to be clean going into the fight. Ain't going to be nothing in my system. Ain't going to be nothing in his system. He didn't hold up his bargain. He didn't hold up on his side. I want to get it back in blood inside the ring and outside the ring." In response, Garcia claims that Devin Haney cheated against Regis Prograis. Although there were no allegations of cheating, Ryan Garcia recently accused him of breaking the rules in the much-anticipated bout. Devin Haney has not responded to these claims yet. Garcia called out Regis on X and wrote, "Devin cheated against him. He should get that fight as no contest." Ryan posted, "Regis, Devin cheated against you. You should probably get that fight as no contest." However, Devin was seen celebrating Ryan's 1-year suspension and his record being turned back to 0 losses. Promoter of Ryan Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya criticizes Devin Haney for celebrating overturning Ryan Garcia decision. Garcia may be getting hate for taking banned substances during the fight, but Haney is getting plenty of criticism for the way he has handled himself afterwards. He said, "I do not understand it. Canelo Alvarez gets popped in a different state, gets 6 months. Shane Mosley gets popped and gets 0. He then turned his attention to Haney, and De La Hoya didn't hold back as he said, "You are pathetic." De La Hoya referenced the clip Haney shared on social media of himself dancing in a bowling alley while celebrating the no contest ruling and said, "Nobody's gonna forget about that beating you took." Stephen A. Smith asked Ryan Garcia a rhetorical question and gave scary advice for his career. Smith simply doesn't understand how Garcia could throw such a promising career out the window. If he obeyed the rules and did things right, he would be on his way to a rematch with Gervonta Davis right now. Smith was actually sympathetic with Garcia about his initial loss to Tank, saying that a liver shot could knock out just about anyone and that Garcia wasn't overly dominated in that fight.
But maybe, just maybe, if you follow rules and regulations and you won and you went and took Devin Haney's title at the 140-pound weight class and you weren't acting all crazy, maybe we would be in the midst of a rematch between you and Gervonta Davis right now, since it was really a body shot to the liver that took you out. That could happen to anybody. It wasn't like he beat you up. It wasn't like he slapped you around the way he did Frank Martin. But with all of this stuff you're doing, Ryan Garcia, it makes no sense.
Smith then floats the possibility of Garcia heading to Saudi Arabia to get around his suspension. It's unclear if that's a real possibility or not, but Garcia has a lot to think about at the moment.
I don't know what other governing bodies in other states may do. What you gonna end up doing? Wanting to go to Saudi Arabia to fight? Lomachenko's in there. Shakur Stevenson is in there. Teofimo Lopez is in there. Gervonta Davis might stay at 135, might move up. Come on, there's a lot of compelling fights. What's up? And if you get so cock diesel and you get so big, well, guess what? Just move up to the welterweight division at 147. Terrence Crawford's waiting. He waiting. What are we doing here?
Eddie Hearn is also worried about Garcia's career after the 1-year ban verdict. He wonders if he goes to Australia to fight, but also thinks that all this situation is a big mess.
Ryan will sit out for a year. My worry with Ryan is what happens in that year. I don't think it's this carbon copy of I'll chill out and I'll start training in 9 months and I'll see you in a year. He's going to have to deal with a lot of shit along the way now, and I worry for him. And I think Devin might end up sitting out, to be honest with you. Like, I don't see him taking a Sandor Martin fight. At the same time, I don't think that, would he go to Australia to fight Paro? I mean, the Ryan Garcia fight's a big fight, that rematch, when it comes back around. But will Ryan even return to boxing? I don't know, but it's a right fucking mess, to be honest with you. That's the reality of the situation.
Hearn isn't sure how Ryan will handle 9 months without a training camp while he's banned from the New York Commission. He hints that Ryan's life could unravel during that period of inactivity, and anything could happen. The biggest worry is that Ryan will let himself go physically, not train, and put on a lot of weight that will be impossible for him to lose when his 1-year ban expires in the first quarter of 2025. He stated, "We don't know if one of them will never fight again. It's not a given that Ryan doesn't do something over the next 9 or 10 months that means he won't fight again. That's what I'm concerned about if I'm on that team, Ryan Garcia. It's not going to be like, all right, Ryan, just chill out for 9 months and start camp." Can you imagine Ryan Garcia chilling out for 9 months with no camp? Eddie thinks that the only way for Garcia to get out of this is that he accepts what he did and makes a deal out of this situation. He thinks that Garcia being adamant to his innocence is making things much worse.
But it's my opinion that they probably went in with almost like a guilty plea to do a deal. And sometimes that's the quickest way to deal with it. When you've got someone that's so adamant of his innocence, like Conor Benn, it's hard to convince them to go and do a deal and basically say, sorry guys, because he never wanted to do that, still to this day. And in the end, it's like, that's sometimes the easiest way to deal with this situation, is to go in and do a deal. So I presume they didn't fight his innocence, really, in a hearing, because the hearing, I don't think it even went on particularly long. It was a conversation between the parties and a deal was reached. I think the no contest is absolutely right, and obviously that's great for Devin. Ryan will sit out for a year. My worry with Ryan is what happens in that year. I don't think it's this carbon copy of I'll chill out and I'll start training in 9 months and I'll see you in a year. He's going to have to deal with a lot of shit along the way now, and I worry for him.
Eddie Hearn was also asked about the damages Ryan Garcia will be facing commercially after these steroid allegations. Eddie thinks that it doesn't affect Garcia commercially because more people are now concerned about what happens next, so Garcia will be fine. He stated, "In terms of commercial value, I don't actually think it really affects him. Some might not like that, some might not think it's sad, but that's the reality. More people are talking about him. More people are fascinated by his implosion. More people want to see him, potentially see him fight or what happens next, so Ryan will be fine commercially." But Ryan also took to X and targeted Eddie and Dazn and threatened to sue him for mentally hurting his feelings. He wrote, "I'ma sue Dazn as well, and Eddie Hearn for mentally hurting my feelings. First of all, maybe y'all knew about this. This is crazy. Victor helped create bars. Be ready and buckle up because I'm not playing." Light welterweight title holder Teofimo Lopez believes that Garcia's 1-year suspension was going to be twice as long, and he's not sure how Team Garcia negotiated down to a year-long exile from the sport. He stated, "You gotta stay clean in this sport. A year suspension, it was going to be 2 years. Obviously, his team and his lawyer team definitely found a way to decrease the suspension. It gives him a whole year to really decide what is best for him and how clean he should come back to the sport." Whenever Garcia does return to the ring, Lopez could be among the first fighters he faces. The Takeover last year turned down a $1.5 million offer from Garcia's team to fight King Ryan, but Lopez was complimentary of Garcia following his since-vacated win over Haney, and it seems he would retain an interest in a showdown with him. Only time will tell. Robert Garcia says that Ryan Garcia is a big name for boxing, and him retiring and getting banned from the sport won't be a good thing.
I think Ryan's a big name for boxing. He brings out a lot of attention to the boxing world. A lot of fans want to tune in to watch his fights. So he's one of the, one of those that brings in a lot of attention.
Abraham Nova believes that the verdict was unfair because of how low the levels of Osterrein were in Ryan's system. He thinks the 1-year ban is a harsh verdict for Ryan.
No, I definitely do not think that was that should happen, especially with Ryan. He's a great fighter. That has never happened to him, and that's a big amount, and that's a long time. And his levels were so low, like I don't think that would have made a difference. So I think it's unfair, but hey, it's boxing. It's the New York State Commission. We can't do nothing except, take what they give us.
Showbiz the Adult said that it's a good ruling and exclaimed that the commission dealt with it simply. He further added that let this be another warning to fighters to get their supplements checked before consuming.
I was thinking if it's ruled unintentional, it should be minimal. But they didn't consider that. With them not considering that, a year, I was thinking 6-month suspension, no contest. But a year, no contest, that's good too. That's good too. I have no problem with the ruling. Strict liability is in Ryan Garcia's system. And that's the way they worked with it, in a way where there's just really there's nothing really to question. There's nothing really to complain about. In the system, it sends a signal to everybody else. Make sure your shit's clean.
However, Tim Bradley believes Ryan Garcia should have been given a 2-year to life ban by the New York State Athletic Commission. Bradley feels that Ryan got off lucky with the NYSAC giving him only a year because they should have given him a lot more for testing positive for his fight against Devin Haney on April 20th. He stated, "Deal with the consequences. A year, he's lucky he got a year. It should have been 2 years or a life ban. The only way to stop this shit is you gotta nip it in the bud. You gotta give life bans for these guys. Get out of here with that. There are a ton of guys that are doing it now and getting away with it." Tim Bradley believes Ryan Garcia should have been given a 2-year to life ban by the New York State Athletic Commission. Bradley feels that Ryan got off lucky with the NYSAC giving him only a year because they should have given him a lot more for testing positive for his fight against Devin Haney on April 20th. He stated, "Deal with the consequences. A year. He's lucky he got a year. It should have been 2 years or a life ban. The only way to stop this shit is you gotta nip it in the bud. You gotta give life bans for these guys. Get out of here with that. There are a ton of guys that are doing it now and getting away with it." This isn't Bradley's first public attack on Garcia. Earlier this year, after failed negotiations for a fight between Garcia and Rolly Romero, Bradley disparaged Garcia, calling him a clown and suggesting he belonged in a zoo. In response, Garcia has threatened legal action against ESPN for allowing Bradley to make such comments, accusing the network of a double standard in their handling of his case. Garcia has taken to social media to express his frustration, particularly with Bradley's recent comments regarding the New York State Athletic Commission guilty verdict on his PED usage. Bradley stated, "The real villain and the real loser is Ryan Garcia. I am just keeping it 100. What are we doing? Why are we praising this guy? Why? In a heated response on X, Garcia insulted Bradley personally, saying he is mad because his hair hasn't grown back since 3rd grade, and his commentary skills are trash, caca brain, referencing Bradley's baldness. Shocker Stevenson believes the same and thinks that the suspension should have been longer. He says that it should have been 5 years to make an example out of Ryan, to not cheat in the sport of boxing. Raleigh Romero doesn't understand why the $1.2 million purse goes to the Golden Boy promotion and not to the fighter who took the damage, that being Devin Haney.
Devin getting his old back, is that fair, you think? Or you think it should have been a little bit longer, a little bit worse?
I mean, he ain't getting no money. He ain't getting no damn money. Yeah, there's something really off about that whole situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it has nothing to do with me. I don't give a fuck what happens right there, but man, why is it going to Golden Boy though?
I don't know. I guess we gotta ask, right? You know, because
that actually caught me off guard because I don't know shit about that.
You think it should go to the fighter though, right? It should be fine.
Yeah, the fighter's the one that got injured, no?
Yeah.
Many pros were already demanding Ryan to be banned from boxing even before the verdict came out. Eddie Hearn is sure that Ryan had Ostarine in his system while fighting Devin Haney. He says that the fight will be declared as a no contest, and Ryan bringing out his own scientist to test his hair doesn't look viable at all.
One thing's for sure, the fight will be a no contest. What we definitely know now is that when he fought Devin Haney, he had performance-enhancing drugs in his body, right? Now we've got to establish if that was intentional or unintentional. Hair samples and all that kind of stuff. It's also not necessarily a line of defence with Ostarine, and also by just bringing in your own scientists to tell everyone everything's okay. Do you know what I mean? You have to go through the procedure with the New York State Athletic Commission.
The team sent us an email saying that, hey, he provided his hair.
We don't, like, what does that mean?
Hearn believes that Ryan will receive a suspension of 6 to 12 months by the new State Athletic Commission, but he also thinks that Ryan could be suspended for 2 to 3 years if it's. Ryan getting angry on Teofimo was hypocritical of him, as he himself targeted George Kambosos' wife a while ago, proven that he intentionally used PEDs, which would be a long time for a first offender. He stated, it could be 6 months or it could be a year. If it can be proven that he intentionally cheated, it could be 2 years, 3 years. I guess it's going to be somewhere between 6 months and a year. Conor McGregor also had some harsh words to say about Ryan's positive drug tests. In a since-deleted post on X, McGregor expressed dismay over Garcia's positive test, suggesting that he didn't want to be associated with Garcia in any way moving forward. He posted, cheated the weight and was juiced. Lifetime ban. Sad to see, sad to say. Sad and a bit sick. Don't come near me if I see you ever, Ryan Garcia. I am actually disgusted. This Ostarine reminds me of Sean O'Malley was on that as well. I don't like this. I'll bust you both up. Do you want to spar? I will set flight right now for you both for a full-on spar each. Hotel, Black Forge in the lot. O'Malley and Garcia, 2 little Ostarine heads. I'll ride you both like you're ostriches. Former basketball player Steven Jackson also said that people cheating in any sport should be banned for life. He stated, if you gotta cheat to win in anything, you're not that. You're not really good, and you don't belong doing that. If you gotta cheat, it's just that simple. Real winners never respect cheaters. I never cheated a day in my life, in any sport, and never will, and been a champion on every level. If you gotta cheat, you don't belong in a sport. I can't believe they just banned them for a year. They should have banned them for life. Amir Khan was also tested positive for using Ostarine in his career. Amir analyzed Ryan's size during his match with Devin and said that Ryan looked compared to him when he used Ostarine in the past. Ryan Garcia is also open to the idea of fighting Jake Paul, but Logan Paul must first withdraw his defamation lawsuit against him. Garcia specified his condition for fighting Jake Paul during interactions with media outlets. The potential bout, given the charisma and outspoken nature of both fighters, is expected to generate significant media buzz. Garcia stated, if Logan drops the lawsuit, I'm retiring for a year, so they don't get the satisfaction of suspending me, cause it's bull. I've never done steroids in my life. Jake Paul, weighing about 190 pounds, has a distinct physical advantage over Garcia, who might fight at close to 170 pounds. Despite the size difference, Garcia's extensive experience in professional boxing could level the playing field. To compete more effectively, especially on the ground, Garcia would need to start training in grappling techniques, considering Jake Paul's background in high school wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Ryan is also considering changing sports and heading towards the UFC, as he requested the UFC president Dana White to take him in. Meanwhile, Sean O'Malley firmly believes he can defeat Ryan Garcia in both boxing and a real-life confrontation. Recently, the UFC bantamweight champion has discussed facing King Rai more frequently than his upcoming opponent, Merab Dvalishvili. In a recent podcast episode featuring Jake Paul, he discussed his potential to defeat the 25-year-old boxer. He said that Ryan has a lot better chances of beating him in a boxing match than he does in a real fight, but he revealed that he can box and can throw hands, so he doesn't think it would be easy by any any means. Moreover, he does think it's possible that he can beat Garcia.
I mean, there's only one way to find out. He has a lot better chances of beating me in a boxing match than he does in a real fight.
You think you'll keep up?
I do. I truly believe in myself. That's how I got to the fucking position I'm in right now. I can box. I can throw hands. I don't think it'd be easy by any means. I do think it's possible I beat him. I'm not saying my odds are great, but I do.
Garcia is also willing to join the MMA, as he said, "I like Sugar Sean O'Malley because he defended me after cheating allegations. But if he really wants to run it in the UFC, I'll run it. Or bare knuckle. Shit, I'm ready to fight anyone at this point." Garcia also talked about UFC president Dana White giving him a chance to let him debut in the world of MMA till he's banned from boxing.
So Dana, I've never said this publicly, but I officially want to enter the UFC, and I want to do it legitimately against, let's say, probably a C-level fighter at first.
Yeah, you have to.
Get my whistle wet, his mouth, and then, take on somebody else.
Ryan Garcia also shared a tweet on his account regarding the steroid allegations and threatened to sue the Haneys. The tweet consists of a voice recording of some insiders talking about the Ostarine, of which Garcia has been held accountable for. They say that the Ostarine is an old drug which isn't even considered a steroid now and is not eligible for testing either.
Be in a 12-round fight and be active for 12 rounds and show no sign of fatigue. We're talking about something different here. With Victor, what you're looking at, you can't investigate or bust something that you're unaware of. When you look at certain, you can't. You see these beasts, all these. Think about all of these fighters. They're popping for really old drugs and Ostarine. That's so old. You can't pop positive for something that you don't even have a test for.
So what are your thoughts about this situation? Do you think that Ryan is telling the truth, or is he lying? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.